Are you curious to know how to create a local RPM repository? If yes, if this is still like a big mystery for you, this is the right time. So let's go to the video and I'm going to show you how to create this easily. Let's dive in. Here we do have two terminals, okay? Two different machines, both are RHEL 9. You can see node 2 and node 3. At this moment, they are registered on Satellite. Again, Satellite, they are content hosts or clients of Satellite. Let's assume that we just deployed this machine. So subscription manager and register. And then it's something like this machine has no access at all to the internet or satellite or nothing like that. So if I access my yum.repos.d, there is no repo file, dnf repo list-v, there is no repository. This is our client. And here will be our server. So for the sake of the server, I'm going to keep this one registered to Satellite just to get the package that we need. But if you have like a fresh install, just keep the ISO, the installation ISO attached to your machine, and you can install the required packets. So some stuff that I will need here. I will need my Apache, assuming that I would like to provide the package via Apache. So dnf install httpd, I'm gonna install those packets. So we got this installed. The next one, I need to enable and start Apache. We can do this in a single shot. Systemctl enable -- now. This is gonna enable and also start the httpd. We can just double check. We can see this is enabled now. At this moment, I have my firewall up and running. So let's take a look. List all. We can see that this is blocking some stuff. I can definitely add a service here to HTTP port 80, but I will not do this at this moment. So systemctl stop firewall D, just for the sake of this video. Like my firewall is down at this moment on the server that I'm going to provide this package. But again, best practice, don't do that. Follow with the steps just to enable the port or allow that specific port. In this case, will be port 80. All right, if I access this machine here and take a look on my hosts, I can see that I have that entry for node 2. So let me try this. Core HTTP on that server. And we can see that Apache is up and running. See, test page, all good. We can just confirm systemctl stop httpd. We stop it. If we try to access, connection refused because there is nothing over there. Let's start once again. And we can see all the information. This is okay. So my web server is up and running on this side, on node 2. This is the first piece. Next, var www html. This is the root directory of this web server. And from here, we can do something like this. I'm here to wally.html. In other words, if I access this server looking for wally.html, I'm here. We can see this content is over there. So Apache is working fine. Everything seems to be okay. This is the first piece. The next one, dnf install Createrepo. This is the package that's going to create or help us to create the repo structure. So yes, let's install this package. And now we have the package that will help us to create the infrastructure or the structure, the folder structure, to work with RPM repositories. That's okay. Last piece, I'm going to create one specific folder here, package. And underneath packets, I can use different approaches here. I can create like multiple folders for packets or this kind of stuff. But I'm going to keep this very, very simple. So I need some packets. Eventually you have some third-party packets. Eventually you can use some Red Hat packets. Again, once this machine is registered, I'm gonna move it on in the easiest way, which will be, let me download some packets using the DNF. So I can use DNF download command just to download some packets. This is gonna download the RPMs. There you go. I have the first, the second, and the third. iptref ng, tcp dump, and vim minimal. I'm not considering at this moment like dependencies. Definitely you have to. If you have dependence, for example, if my TCP dump requires some additional packets, I should be adding those additional packets over here just to avoid some dependencies issues. But for the sake of this video, like we have just 3 packets and that's all. Okay, now we can use Createrepo. If you are looking for some information about Createrepo, you can definitely pass -- help or eventually check the manual page. But again, I'm going to keep this simple. Createrepo dot, this is the place where I'm located, and I would like to create a structure from this point, and I would like some verbosity. All right, our repository is ready. Amazing, huh? Let's take a look. Createrepo dot -v, some verbosity. We have some additional information. Okay, add-in package, iptref, add-in package, vim minimal, add-in package, tcp dump, directory to scan, repo data. So 3 packets, creating xml.gz, preparing the SQLite database, creating database, generating repo md xml, and memory cleanup. All done. That's it. Simple, easy, like that. Let's clean up this screen. Let's do a double check. The package or the list of packages in question here, they don't change because they are the same packets. We are not changing anything on those packets when running Createrepo. However, this directory will be created. And underneath this one, you can see the repo md. Repo md is the main file that your client is going to try to retrieve. And this one has reference to each one of them. So let's take a look on repo md. This is the structure. For example, this is the primary, and the primary has a href pointing to repo data, and this hash primary.xml file. We have also file lists. We have also other. And we have many primary, SQLite, the database. We have some information here. I'm not gonna dive on each of them and showing the content, but just to let you know, this is the simplest way to create this infrastructure. And that's it. This is ready. So let's come back to this client now. What should I do on this client? We saw that the DNF repo list here is empty. So I can access my etc eon.repos. I can create one file here. Oh, look at that. Red Hat repo, but it is empty. Okay. I can create my local.repo. Oops, I don't have Vim. Local.repo. And from here, let me copy and paste from my side. This is the minimal that is required just to access that information. I have my repository label. I have the base URL. And the main idea is the path over here should be not the path to my repo data, but to the path where I can see the repo data. So I know that var www HTML is the top level of my web server, this one. So the next folder should be packets, this one. So this is the top level of that specific directory. GPG check equals 0. I'm not checking the certificates of those packets. If you ask me, okay, do you recommend this? For the sake of lab, definitely you can use this. For production, never. So you need to get the certificate of those packets just to be sure that the package that you are installing is the package that was provided by the vendor. Red Hat or third party, doesn't matter. The concept is the same. So don't skip the GPG check if you are using this in production environment. But for the sake of lab, pretty quick, pretty fast, that's it. I trust these files, so no big deal for me. Okay, I can create this one, DNF repo list -v. And there you go. Look at that. Let me open this one a little bit. Let's see again. And local. So basically, repo ID is the label that we have in this piece. I have my base URL, which is pointing to my repository base URL over here. The GPG check is 0. I'm not checking. And from here, I can see some additional information, like this information is coming from this specific configuration file, local.repo under /etc/yan.repos.d. I can see the number of packets, 3 packets. I can see the total size of that repo, 1.5 megabytes. I can see when this was created, and that's it. Simple like that. Let's see one more thing, DNF repo list. And we can see this output, like I have my label, just like this. And we can see repo label is missing name. So to avoid this kind of warning, then yes, we can add the name underneath the configuration file. But as we saw, that is not a requirement. You can get the packets without the name entry. So I can just access this one. Let me copy from my end, name. I will keep the information on the screen again. And check this out. Now my repo name is populated properly. Third-party repo here. And again, if I like to see with more verbosity, I can see the repo name now with the correct or accurate information. If we see or compare with before, repo name was the same as repo ID. Okay? So let's say that I would like to list the packets. I can definitely do something like this, DNF list all. This is going to list the packets that we have installed, but check this out, repo label. I can see iptref, TCP dump. Let me grab my repo label. iptref, TCP dump, and vim minimal is not over there because this is already installed on my machine. I can see over here. But that's okay. We can try one thing here. Show duplicates. And there you go. Now I can see that specific version coming from this repo label. And can I download this one from here? Definitely yes. Let me create a folder. There is nothing here yet. So DNF download iptref-ng. There you go. This one was downloaded from this specific server. And again, I can install, I can do any operation that is related to DNF because now this client is seeing this one here as the server. Let me do one more point here just to close this up. DNF repo list-v. We can confirm that we have 3 packets. And now, for the sake of learning, and this is a bonus, DNF download kernel. I'm gonna download a kernel. I have no idea which one will be downloaded, and that's okay. Just one more package. So if I would like to add the new package over here, check this out. If I just go to my client and check the list of packets, it's still 3. And this is expected because this repo data will not get updated automatically. You have to execute the create repo. So create repo dot. At this moment, I will skip the verbosity just for the sake of learning. And then we can see this is much smaller, but we can see, hey, the package or the total packets in this list is 4 packets. Repo data, preparing the database, and that's good. Finish. If I came over here now and run, we can still see 3. And what's going on? We have a refresh time that we need to avoid the cache and download the new one. Let me do this, DNF clean all. I'm forcing my client to remove all that information. And I'm gonna do a repo list again. This is gonna download the metadata, fresh metadata, and now I can see the number 4. That's it. So just to sum up, pretty simple. some steps in the server just to create the repository structure. Whenever you add a new package, you have to rerun the Createrepo. In your client side, just create the repo file under /etc /reposd local and point to the correct base URL, which will be your server. Hey Wally, can I do this using HTTPS? Yes, there are some additional steps that you have to do. Hey, can I use my GPG check? Yes, there are some additional steps that you have to do. Can I keep this one without the name entry? Yes, you will be seeing that warning anytime that you run DNF repo list. But again, this is not a requirement. And that's all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Straight to the point, definitely easy way to create a repository just to play around with your RPM packets. Don't forget to subscribe. Feel free to join us in our Discord channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.